In this lesson, we're going to cache, download, archive, and restore a Fusion 360 project. After completing this lesson, you'll be able to set up a project to be backed up locally, use archive on a project, and restore an archived project. In Fusion 360, we're going to navigate back to the home, the top of our data panel, and we're going to create a new project. This new project is going to be called Temp Project. We're going to explore this as a way for us to create a temporary project, and then we're going to make sure that with the temporary project, we understand exactly how we can archive it, restore it, as well as bring information from other locations into it. Right now we have our temp project, and with our utility knife -upload open, I'm going to go to File, Save As. If we do a File Save As, note the location is Temp Project. I'm going to say utility knife upload -temp, and I'm going to save it to that location. Notice that the current design that we're working on is this new temp version. I don't have to have it open anymore, so I'm going to go ahead and close it. And then we're going to take a look at ways in which we can cache this locally, how we can archive the project, and how we can restore it. First, to cache it locally, we're going to go to our settings and note that we can select Cache this project. When we do that, we're automatically creating an offline cache of this project. Again, if you want more information about this, I suggest that you view the help file and learn more about caching projects locally. This is done automatically when we're working in Fusion 360, and if you lose the internet connection, the file will automatically be saved that you're working on and be reconnected once the internet connection is restored. However, having a local version of this file can be helpful, especially if you need to work offline. But now, let's take a look at this on the web. When we open this on the web, we're taking a look at our temp project. The temp project contains a single file, utility knife upload -temp. If we take a look at this dropdown, we have the option to download the file, as well as open it in the web or on the desktop, copy it, move it, or even delete it. The download icon will allow us to pick what file format we're interested in: Fusion 360 archive file, or many other different types of intermediate CAD formats, as well as Inventor and SketchUp. But if we want to take a look at the entire project, we need to go back to the home, and we need to find our temp project. So navigate to your temp project, and note that they won't be pinned inside of here unless you pin them inside of Teams. So if we go down to our temp project, we have the option to pin the project, and if we use our dropdown, note that we can archive or transfer it. Archiving it will deactivate this project, and transferring it will allow us to move it to another hub. Right now, we're going to take a look at pinned, and notice that it's displaying our pinned projects. We have all, owned by me, shared with me, as well as archived. So if we pin it, it'll be displayed in the pinned section. In our case, I'm going to take a look at owned by me, go down to my temp project, and select archive. You can review the warnings and then archive your project. You can see any archived projects, and if you want to restore them, you simply need to go into the archive section and restore it, or you can delete it entirely. If we select restore, it'll bring it back into the data panel, and it'll also bring it back into the owned by me, all, or pinned section, depending on where it's located. Now let's go ahead and navigate back to Fusion 360. In Fusion 360, we still have our temp project active because it's no longer archived. When working in Fusion 360, it's a good idea to make sure that you create these projects and subfolders intentionally. Note that you can restructure, reorganize, and move things around, but it's always a good idea to make sure that you understand the structure at the start. When you're done with a project, you can export the files locally as Fusion archive files or some intermediate format, and you can also archive the project so it's no longer displayed in the data panel. This is an important step to understand for anybody working on projects that they don't want to remain active all the time. For us, however, we're going to continue working in our Foundational Concepts folder, but make sure that you do explore these options and create dummy projects to play around with them, or you can also use your Foundational Concepts, archive it, and bring it back. For now, we haven't made any new designs or changes, so nothing has to be saved. So once you're comfortable working with these files, make sure that you move on to the next lesson.